It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of the Progressive News Show with Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna Hart, along with Diaz. And as you can see from the title, we're going to break down what happened in LA the last couple of days, the last hours. So by the fact, just a quick note from Parker already. The news was unkind to Marlon this week in terms of preparation time. All the big things happened super recently within the past 2-3 yeah, it's like within hours. And continuing, thanks to Anna for sending me the link, and it's still continuing probably right now still.
Yep.
Protests that's going on, this time with the National Guard in tow. So we're just going to discuss that. The second hour, Am I the A-hole? A very special Am I the A-hole? Something I don't think I've ever done before. A Mafia video of the week, and of course, Foxy's video of the week. Anna, how's everything going?
It's going okay. Yesterday was kind of a combination between heat and something weird hit me with the audio. It felt like it was being layered in. Layer one, I'd like start to write that. He'd go on to layer two, and I couldn't keep up to concentrate. And so I'd completely miss that. And I figure, okay, let me just try to keep up from next line. The more I tried, the further I felt like I was just going underneath water, trying to figure out like I know the general gist because yeah, those were shows and movies that I grew up with as well. But eh. So today it's just as hot. But I got a whole bunch of things. Like I got my cooling blanket, I got fans, I even have a little spritz bottle. I think I'm prepared.
Okay, good.
Well,
I'm
glad
just
you're
glad
feeling better today.
you're
Thank you,
feeling
Peter.
better. There's my man with the new background. How's everything going?
Yeah.
Everything's good. I got no complaints yet again. I'm chill.
Oh wow.
All right. Well, who else we got out
How
there?
are you, Marlon?
Yes, Marlon, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I didn't think we had anything to talk about. Then they sent me what happened in LA, and I'd be dogged if I didn't spend the rest of the day just researching it because, like I said, it's a continuous story that just keeps developing. So I was like, that's what I pretty much spend most of the day. Then Foxy and my granddaughter went to Lowe's yesterday and got some flowers for the porch. So I watered them for the first time. I'll water them again Wednesday because it's twice a week. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Are we officially at the age where we're talking about watering plants?
And why not?
I don't see a problem with that at all,
I'm just
sir.
saying that's where we are. That was cool. You know, it makes sense because I'm like right behind you guys. So I'm the one trying to figure out what plants to buy. So look at this. This is cool. I'm really leaning more towards some marigolds and maybe some lavender. I figure those should be pretty good, but I missed my season. So now I got to wait until next spring.
Oh,
you know more than I do, buddy. So yeah,
sometimes you can kind of push in some plants and a little bit of adversity, a little bit of hard work is good for plants, turns out. And I've seen this, you know.
As long as the hard work is for the plants. I'm not doing hard work for no plants. Like
no.
Plants are supposed to grow because they're plants. So if I have to do much work, I got to measure the pH, and I'm not doing it.
No, so it's like if you forget the work with it, sometimes that's really good for the plant. Just let it do what it does. It's got it figured out.
That's good. It's gonna have to be with me.
Yeah, because all you get is water from me.
Yeah,
it's already hanging from the ceiling too, so I gotta climb a ladder. You get water.
All the efforts on the front end. And put you some rocks in the bottom and some potting soil and plant you and hope for the best. And when it rains, you get watered. And if it hadn't rained for a while, I'll give you water.
Yep. Merry Christmas. That's all you getting from me, buddy. I'm already paying the water bill, so doggone. Anyway, let's just get this party started. So let's do the first video, which is just a real quick synopsis of what happened the last 24 hours. I really don't even know how to describe the time frame of this. So I would say the last 24 hours. So this is just a quick synopsis of what happened in Los Angeles, California.
That is some breaking news overnight. Protests erupted in the streets of Los Angeles after immigration officials conducted several raids and arrested dozens of people on Friday. NBC's Steve Patterson is in LA with more on this. Steve, good morning.
Yeah, Joe, tense night here in LA with at times fully armored authorities in riot gear facing off with protesters after a day of these flashpoints at these federal immigration raids. Take a look at this. The raids starting in the morning with federal employees targeting a clothing wholesaler. The video here, dramatic. Dozens of agents fully geared, often in multiple armored trucks, using flashbangs, deploying pepper spray on a crowd, attempting to block vehicles. These flashpoints then continuing throughout the day. In all, federal agents executing 4 search warrants at 3 locations across central Los Angeles, resulting in 45 arrests. The action culminating in a protester standoff with LAPD officers lining up downtown, facing off against demonstrators after authorities ordered crowds to disperse around nightfall. Police there declaring an unlawful assembly, ordering about 200 protesters to break up at about 7 with the use of less lethal munitions authorized after officials say a smaller, more violent group started throwing pieces of concrete at officers. No solid report at this time on the severity of injuries on either side so far.
Yeah, and Steve, I know while all this was happening in the streets, there was also this battle really being waged between politicians in L.A. and the White House in Washington. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, another standoff online, so to speak. Both Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass weighing in, with Newsom saying the administration's chaos is tearing families apart, and Mayor Bass saying she is deeply angered in a tactic that sows terror and that we will, quote, not stand for this. White House top aide Stephen Miller responding, "You have no say. Federal law is supreme and will be enforced." Joe?
All right. Steve Patterson reporting from L.A. Steve, thank you so much.
Okay, before we even get into the commentary and talk about it, we're going to roll straight into Belle's commentary because she gives a great more detail, more insight into that video I showed you. It's 4 minutes long, but I couldn't cut it short. Like I said, it goes into greater detail. So when we have our discussion, you know, we have a lot to discuss. And after Belle's video, we will have a lot to discuss. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so you've probably heard at least a little about what's going on in Los Angeles. We'll run through the events. Then we'll talk about what's driving this, and then go over some misinformation that circulated last night. Shortly after taking office, Trump started his immigration policy. It's been plagued by issues, but the administration seems intent on continuing under the current template. On Saturday, demonstrations occurred at a few locations in Los Angeles. The demonstrations were spurred by a series of arrests the previous day. Demonstrations escalated in the city of Paramount, which is near Compton in LA County. Rocks were thrown. Riot police were called out. As is becoming the norm, the law enforcement crackdown caused the demonstrations to spread, and it spilled over into Compton. Trump took the protests as an opportunity to change the narrative and signed a memo federalizing and deploying a couple thousand National Guard troops. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, posted to social media, quote, "The federal government is moving to take over the California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers. That move is purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. LA authorities are able to access law enforcement assistance at a moment's notice. We are in close coordination with the city and county, and there is currently no unmet need. The Guard has been admirably serving LA throughout recovery. This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust." That message contains a lot of important parts. First, it seems like the governor did not sign off, which will probably be the subject of a legal battle later. It also says that law enforcement is functioning, which will also be important in legal battles later. The social media post almost seems like it was drafted or at least revised by a lawyer to create a record. Now, from the people we know in LA, the protests had calmed down long before the arrival of the National Guard. In fact, at 3 a.m., hours after Trump posted a job well done to the National Guard, we didn't have any report of them being on the ground. CBS and BBC couldn't confirm their presence either. but the expectation is that the administration will keep the call-up going for optics. It honestly appears like the call-up was either a massive emotional overreaction or a cynical attempt to draw attention away from the veterans protesting him in D.C. Okay, so let's start with this. Did Trump declare martial law? No, a National Guard call-up is not martial law. It was wildly unnecessary, but it was not martial law. Throwing around that term is dangerous and is getting people used to the idea. It's worth noting that even under Trump, with this ridiculous call-up, the National Guard's orders are limiting them to a support role, which lends more support to the idea that this is an attempt to change the story from Trump's recent failures, the pushback, and of course his breakup. Can Trump issue a call-up the way he did? I'm guessing that's going to be a legal question in the future. The president can call up the National Guard, and under certain circumstances, he can do it without the governor. But even using the most generous definitions, the protests don't really seem to cut it legally. They didn't interrupt normal law enforcement functions, according to the governor. I'd expect this to go to court and maybe even make its way to the Supreme Court pretty quickly.
Okay, let me throw this in before I go to Anna. Can the president call up the National Guard? Yes, he can call up the National Guard for a federal issue, not a state issue. The National Guard is under the governor of that state. Period. That's the governor's military, if you want to call it that way.
Except in D.C.
It's their well-regulated militia.
It's their well-regulated militia. The reason being for all of this, and the reason Trump just overreacted, was because the governor is closer to the ground of knowing what's going on than Trump would have known. So you just willy-nilly calling up 2,000 guards when you may not have needed that many, or you may have needed more. You didn't know. But the governor would have, because it's his state. But just to answer that question, can he call up the National Guard? Yeah, for a federal situation, not a state situation.
Right.
Anna, what's really going on here?
Well, it's starting 2 nights ago. There were these huge raids that ICE was conducting, 3 different places. Like they said, one was a shop, and people immediately came out. LA is one of the areas that has been very hard hit by ICE doing its Gestapo thing. And we very much have a situation where you see people who are covering their face. Many people are thinking this is probably the January 6th militia, including me. That's a personal belief that I think some of the people out there that are doing some of the most egregious kidnapping off of the streets are not actually law enforcement officers. But so, the people, they have had enough, and they have been called out in LA for many, many different protests and calls to action. This one spread like wildfire, pardon the pun. And by the very next day, there were, I'm not sure of a count yet, but it was a very strong showing of, hey, in about under 12 hours, there was a force of people, so much so that the police ended up coming in their riot gear, and there were shots fired. There were different, it seemed like there were these smaller groups of people that were agitators and were trying to egg violence on. One of the things that the 5051, the Indivisible, the um, Move On, the all the different groups that are doing the protest, I think once a month we have like de-escalation training, and people who have been through these situations talking us through it, because I've never been to a protest where I have to run from the cops. So but we do have June 14th coming up with this military parade birthday party that Trump is throwing, which just so happens to coincide with the 250th anniversary of the founding of our army. He's gonna want to have this great show of strength, and it is undoubtedly on his mind that we are looking at having one of the biggest protests to date for our country on that day. And there have been a few losses for Trump lately that he greatly wants to change the narrative. He doesn't want people talking about how the courts are coming out against him, or how the bill greatly changes the whole, can the Supreme Court even issue an injunction, let alone can they hold someone in contempt. But that's not signed yet. And people, if you haven't, please call your senators. Like, this is a time when they do have to hear, and they have to hear a big earful of how much this whole bill will hurt so many different people. But that the breakup of the bromance with Elon Musk, life hasn't looked too good for Trump in the past few days, and he was looking to go into June 14th with a great show of strength. He's not looking strong. So this is an attempt to change that narrative, like he said, well done on the job. They hadn't even stepped on the ground yet. It is, I have no doubt he will keep on saying it was the National Guard, when to what I heard, it was people just naturally fizzing out. And they plan to come back the next day, which now the National Guard is there and is deployed around, I believe one of the places was I call it the ICE building, but one of the immigration centers. And it was such a long line of huge armored cars, big vans with no windows. Things were happening too much. I couldn't notice any plates. And I did see one instance where there seemed to be a few people on the ground that they're tired of this. And they don't see any other way than violence. So those guys are quite violent. And so the guard and the police that are there as well, they get ready to do a moving back, a pushback. And it was, though I was watching it on my phone, and that's just a small thing, it was still a powerful statement when suddenly a whole group of, it seems like strong individuals, are yelling out, "Get back." And, some people were spilling into the street, some people were not staying like where it would have been more safe for them. They didn't care at this point. They were trying to block traffic. They were trying to do whatever they could. I know that some people on the ground, they kind of framed it as like we ran ice out of our town last night. And that would be the night before the guard showed up. No, they got the people that they wanted. And I mean, there was a young girl who was left at the store, her parent taken. It's horrible stories. So that's what's been going on. In my opinion, I have a few people that I've talked to in California, and it's all my opinion on what is going on. But this is going to spark something really huge. Tomorrow is the Veterans. I think. Wait, what date is it?
The 8th.
It's the 8th. No, I'm sorry. I think the Veterans were on the 6th, and they were planning a few different protests all over the USA, just as the No Kings March is planning a lot of different events. When I looked at the map, the one that was closest to me was 10 minutes away. The one that, like, if I really wanted to go to maybe the capital, it would take me a few hours to get there. And it's all there. It's incredible the amount. I mean, I remember when we started back in April, and you'd see a couple of dots in each state, which that was a great start. But we have just grown steadily and steadily in our protests, and now I honestly don't know what to say. As far as, if you feel, anybody out there, if you feel like you gotta get out there, I can say nothing to stop you. if you feel it's best for you to stay home. Again, I can say nothing. I can think of nothing that would help interject anything into this conversation that way. I think people, they know what they're gonna do for the most part, and we'll see.
All right, before I throw it to my brother Theus, go ahead and show the last video of the night, which is the Trump administration already changing the narrative. But I'm gonna throw it to Theus. This is Afro Think Tank, and this was breaking news like today.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Okay, breaking news. This is no surprise. Donald Trump and his neo-Nazi administration are sending 2,000 troops to LA. And how are they going to justify that? Well, Stephen Miller, the dude who got his girl taken by Elon Musk, I'm sure he's pretty bitter about the whole situation. Everybody making fun of him and shit. So he said that the LA protests is an insurrection against American sovereignty. Did you hear what I just said? He's saying that this is an insurrection against American sovereignty. When piece of shit say stuff like that, when people in power say that, they're not just saying that just to take a shot. They're saying it almost like if they're a lawyer to put something on the record. Therefore, they can utilize certain laws to justify their authoritarian action. So he says it's an insurrection against American sovereignty, meaning we can utilize force, extreme force, because what you're saying is we're being invaded. You're trying to say that America's being invaded and attacked. Therefore, we can justify using deadly force. That way, we can go ahead and send 2,000 National Guard, and then not only is the National Guard going, but the governor of the state doesn't have control of the National Guard, because the National Guards are usually controlled by the state's governor, right? The National Guard is basically a governor's military, for domestic stuff. Their own military, just like we got a national military, which is our United States military, right? The National Guard is supposed to be somebody controlled by the governor, right? The only reason a federal government would take over a situation like that is if it was a catastrophic, event, like far as like a hurricane or tornado. I mean, not a tornado, like a earthquake or something massive, to where the governors don't have enough policing forces to handle any situation, and they don't have enough National Guard, like it's just overwhelming. Then the federal government can come in and help by taking over responsibility, from the governor to supersede the governor and his authority in the state. All right. So Donald Trump is trying to call these people insurrectionists. All of a sudden, they know what they have a definition of what insurrection is, even though this is the same president who incited an insurrection. Okay. Not just in a street in LA, but incited an insurrection on the Capitol of the United States with the intentions to stop and certify an election that he lost, that he's yet to admit that he lost, right? And then when he became the president, somehow in America, right, the right-wing racist president who, said he hated Mexicans, hated all Muslims, hated anybody who wasn't white the first time, and then used the police on the people the first time, and was authoritarian the first time, right? And then he let all his angry white racist men who conducted the insurrection on his order out of jail and called them patriots, right? This same president is saying that this is an insurrection. Do you see what's happening here?
All right, Theus, what you got?
Well, believe it or not, I won't have a whole lot, because I've made the decision that I'm really not going to speak on politics that much. I know where this administration's focus is, and personally, I'm choosing to stay as much out of the crosshairs as possible, because it can interfere with the work that I want to do. So that's kind of how far I'm there. But Just to touch on politics a little bit, taking it from a different angle, though, it's these types of things that reinforce why I'm stepping back from politics as much, because I'm, instead of becoming less frustrated or less disgusted, if you will, I'm becoming more frustrated and more disgusted, mainly with my independent, third party, free thinking, protest voting people, because without them is literally how this Republican monstrosity was able to overcome the cast Democratic votes. So the people who chose to opt out literally could have helped swing this election. And for whatever their reasons, everybody has their reasons, and you can't go back and undo what you did. But I just, everybody wants to hide their hands. Go ahead, go for it. What you got?
I'm sorry, I just I thought I heard from a few different places that, and maybe I'm thinking a bit too narrowly but that those who had like voted for Jill Stein this year, or last year rather,
They couldn't have won the election.
the numbers were not quite there.
Okay.
So can you just
That's why I said the people who opted out. So it's all the same general energy.
non-voters?
You had the people who normally would vote and chose not to vote. Those are the ones. Not the ones who never vote, because they never vote anyway. But the ones who normally vote, but they took their little principled view, and it was a lot of them.
Oh.
And they were like, I can't do it for whatever reasons. And they got their principled reasons as to why. But when you add up all of those people, the opt-outs, then you add up all the third parties, and then you add up the disaffected Democrats, all of them, for whatever their reasons, this administration and what it promised to do was not sufficient to overcome whatever that moral basis they were operating from. And so I'm not mad at y'all anymore. I'm just frustrated, because those are the same voices I hear so much still dogging the Democrats for what the Democrats aren't doing, or doing all the protesting and commentary about what Trump is doing. And I'm like, I get it. I do. When you don't agree with something, you don't agree with something. But it's kind of like I was saying before the election happened. Are you just anti, or are you actually for something? Because if you're actually for something, you start doing different kinds of math. When you're anti something, it's very easy to just be anti. So now we are where we are. It's unfortunate, but I'm also coming from my viewpoints is different than a lot of people anyway, because this is where I agree with third parties and independent and non-voters. The American democracy system has been messed up for a very long time. It hasn't been serving its constituency for decades.
Right.
It's been serving my community for over 100 years. So I can't really get, I'm conflicted, I guess is the way I could put it. So all you guys out there protesting, keep protesting. I'm proud of you guys. I support you guys in the spirit of protesting, because, those protests, there are some wins. There are definitely some wins. We got 2 people that I'm aware of that got to come home.
Back from,
now, granted, one of them isn't quite home. He's just back stateside.
Right.
And now he has to run through the juggernaut again, and he'll probably end up a political prisoner behind it. But it's still a win, right?
Yeah.
No one's ever made it out of that facility, and here he's out. So that was a a job well done, and it only happened because so many people rose their voices and they kept their voices raised. And so many people put themselves in personal line of risk and things like that. And so now we have what's happening in LA. And I'm like, you know what would have really been helpful? And I know it doesn't, I know how I sound, you guys. I do. And it's just really, I'm exhausted. So politically, I don't care what you guys think of me. It would have been really helpful for that kind of protest energy to have been directed at not letting this guy get in office.
Yeah. Agree.
Right? None of this was a mystery. So he's for all intents and purposes, because you can't prove otherwise right now, he is the duly elected president of the United States of America.
Right.
And he is, for the first time in a long time, following through on basically everything he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
And he put a lot of unqualified people in place to execute on his vision, and they're doing that. And to blame the Democrats, which I hear a lot of, I don't think that's fair, because literally they could fight harder, truly.
Yes.
But it still would achieve the exact same result, whether they fought harder or less, right? From a political standpoint. So it's all of these things, man, because my heart goes out to all these families. Out of that entire set of videos, what's jumped out at me the most was you got all this pressure, all this show of force to get 45 arrests. You arrested 45 quote unquote illegal immigrants. 45. How is any of this worth that? Any of it? And then think about where you went to get those 45. You didn't round them up, wandering in the streets, knocking over liquor stores. You rounded them up by going to their job. They were working, you know? So, yeah, I'm sorry. I know that's not really the mode we were moving in, but that's where I'm at. That's why it's like I can't really get too worked up behind any of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm more sad than anything.
If you didn't like what Thea said, you definitely ain't gonna like what I said, because it's actually a continuation from last night's conversation with Thea's. I'm so indifferent to this whole situation now. I'm not shocked anymore. I could be appalled, but that ain't gonna be take but so far. I guess here's my indifference. Trump and his administration pretty much showed you what they was going to do. They told you in a book what they was going to do. A book, a manuscript, a instructional workbook. They told you. And now that they're executing everything that they said they was going to do, now everybody's supposed to be up in arms. And I'm just like, I'm so indifferent to why this bothers you so much. And I know why it does. And I'll say the same thing I said last night, because you didn't think it was going to affect you.
No, that's MAGA, bro.
I know.
The rest of the people is they didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah. Well.
Well, what do you mean, Anna? Go ahead, because
there were a lot of your everyday people who suddenly were talking about Project 2025. I'm not saying there weren't, you're apathetic. There's always. Sorry, my brain. Sorry.
Okay. I get what you're saying, Alan. Long way. But just like the Black community who voted for Trump, the Latino community who voted for Trump, even after he told you what he's going to do, because somehow in your mind you thought doing this was going to protect you. So that's where I was coming from. Why would you think that? Because remember, nobody knows who you voted for. Unless you know, put on the little Trump hat and put the signs in the yard and everything like that, which I guess you thought that was going to deter ICE from coming to your house.
Well, okay, we also said to so many people, tariffs are going to be increasing.
Yep.
The money we pay, and MAGA was doing all of these flips saying he was playing 4D chess and we had to actually collapse the economy to grow the economy.
Oh, the whole wait and see because he knows what he's doing thing.
Yeah. And then there were so many people who are like, we told you this was going to happen. Like, there's no... for some people, there is that FAFO glee. I don't get that. I mean, this man is just spreading so much damage and devastation.
Let me cut in while it's on my mind. I give it right back to you.
Yeah,
just
sorry.
like the Facebook meme, I guess, or message that's coming across. He was talking about Trump's birthday coming up and the parade that he wants and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And people think it's hilarious while on Trump's birthday to say happy birthday, president, but you use Barack Obama's picture. You're still taking this as a joke. The joke's over, folks. The joke's over. What do you expect? Again, I said this last night. When you do something, what do you expect the outcome to be? When you do anything in life, what do you expect the outcome to be at the end? What did you want at the end? So please explain to me what is pissing off Trump that you know this is going to piss him off. Now what?
That's all we wanted.
Here's how I'll disagree. So I think it's good that people want to piss off Trump. I think it's good that people want to show their discontent. It's better than just, everybody going silent.
Yeah.
So I'm cool. I'm cool on that. For those of us who aren't very loud, cool. Then we won't be. But I think there's a lot of benefit to people raising their voice, because what's the alternative? Everybody just goes quiet and lets it happen, right? So there's value there. My thing is, like, in a very dark but just standoffish kind of way, this is 100% what America deserves and America needs. And unfortunately, as always, real people will be destroyed in the process. And the people most worthy of being harmed won't be harmed. That's what history has always shown us. That's what history has always proven. And I know people like to play make-believe in their minds that this is somehow different, but I'm like, just show me where it's been different. And in any case that you can find me where it's been different, compare those circumstances to what we have right now. Are we as serious as those other successful people were? Can you honestly say that we are? Right? So I'm sorry, I just can't play make believe with people right now. I can't play, dollhouse anger. I can't. I just can't. Right? This isn't a theatrical presentation. So I think that's where a lot of, like, in the Black community, some of that energy is coming from. But not to absolve us, though, because even with us, we're not, as a whole, we're not taking this seriously either. We are all Americans, and we're afflicted with something that America has grown in its population. We are lazy. We are so used to being relatively comfortable in comparison to the rest of the world, right? Because I remember many years ago, I had a lady from, I think she was from Kenya, and she was at my desk when I was a banker, and we were talking about something, and she basically said to me, Americans don't know what poor is. Because even when you're homeless, you have somewhere to go. Even if you're homeless, if you're sick enough, you can go to the hospital. You can go to a truck stop and take a shower. You can go to a shelter and sleep for the night. You can go to a parking lot and sleep for the night. You can go and get underneath a bridge and sleep for the night. These aren't ideal situations, but go to a country that has no infrastructure. That's poor.
Yeah.
So here we are so insulated that we don't understand that we have every possibility to go through the things that the rest of the world goes through, but we look at it like it's over there. The wars, the civil unrest, the dictators, the authoritarians, the police crackdowns, the martial law, the police state, all these things. We don't believe it can happen here, but we don't believe it can happen here because we haven't studied, and we don't think that we are part of the normal human condition. So I'm sorry, miss me on all of this, because we had every opportunity not to be here right now. And especially with, like, us in the Black community, I think we're resting way too much on our laurels, but that's a different conversation. But we don't benefit from how this country operates and runs. So you won't see a person like me going out here trying to oppose Trump, because it's bad under Trump, but I didn't have the authority or the power to stop Trump. I needed the rest of you out there to do that. I did my part. You didn't. The people in Gaza, they needed us. I did my part. I lost. Okay? So all this moral posturing that people are doing, and this woe is me that people are doing, and I'm like, yo, we saw it all coming. It wasn't important enough for us as a nation to be Americans before we were whatever our party was, to be Americans before whatever our color was, to be Americans before whatever our special interest was. Instead of us saying, as an American, what do I want from my country? We were all in our special interest, even when it was getting dark. So now we just got to go through this. And those who are resisting through protests, keep doing it. Those who are prepared to resist in other ways, go ahead and do that. Those who are trying to find coping mechanisms, do that. Those who are about to flee the country, do that. All of that. Yeah, it's time. That's where we at, man. That's where we at. This crackdown in LA is nothing. Real talk, it's nothing. It's everything to the people involved, but it's nothing in the grand scheme. Yeah. This, like I put in the chat, this could have happened in any city. Yeah. And the exact same result would happen, because this has already been planned. Yep. The intention was for my community to be the ones, because historically we've been the ones that go out in the streets and do all this stuff. And they've tried to provoke us, and they've tried to do different things. And we haven't been responding because we are emotionally torn, generally speaking, because how do I save something that hates me? Been begging this country to accept me and my people for hundreds of years. Been begging this country to stop the police from killing my children so that one of the leading reasons that they die is not from gunfire from each other and gunfire from the police that we pay to protect us. But America won't do that. Been begging America to do right by us with employment. Won't do it. Do right by us with wealth, the access to wealth. Won't do it. Do right by us through judicial processes, period. Electoral processes, period. Won't do it. So please forgive when you knock on the door and we be like, nah, I don't want it. I'm keeping the door closed. But there's danger in that too, because the chaos is still coming. Just because we don't get involved now doesn't mean it ain't gonna be coming for us later. Right? So it's this whole mix, this whole morass. And so that's why I'm just kind of like, you know.
All right. Let's end the show off with some questions. Let me see. Anna, you think there were going to be a lot of protests for Trump's parade? To me, it would seem like it would mostly be attended by his supporters and only a few small amounts of protests, similar to how the inauguration was.
I actually think do not protest this parade. Don't watch it. Treat it like his inauguration. Don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't attend it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't protest it. Go protest ICE if that's what you want to do. Go protest all the other things that you want to protest, but starve him of the attention.
Yeah.
That's the point.
People willingly choose to forget the million bad things Trump did in his first term. Yeah. And people are acting hysterical when warning about what he do in his second term when he did a lot of these same things in his first term.
Our short-term memory is terrible.
I don't even think I often would say the exact same thing, and I used to say it all the time. Like we have the memory of a drunk gerbil or something like that. But
something like that.
I think it's actually worse than that. We are willfully blind. It's not that we have short attention spans. We're willfully blind.
We
believe in fairy tales. All of us. We all believe in fairy tales because you got the people in MAGA who they took what they wanted to believe and blew that up large enough to mask the things they didn't want to believe. And then on people on the left, we did the same thing. We blow up the things we want to believe and it play down the things that really aren't all that helpful to our message. The reality is these people that are being forgotten in these towns and these cities, and these are real people. Mm-hmm. And America has ignored them for 40, 50 years. Yep. And so they're acting out. Mm-hmm. And there's more of them. They've been doing it to us forever, but there's not enough of us in America outright doesn't care what happens with us and what we say. So now when it's the population they do care about, things start moving because when white folks, just generally speaking in America, when they get upset, things move. So this country has failed its people. This country has failed to invest in its people wherever its people are, on the coast or in the heartland, as they call it. But I don't care where you are in America, this country has refused to invest in the people whose children deserve an opportunity. And if you don't see your children having an opportunity, no matter how much privilege you have, if you don't see your children have an opportunity, you will stand up.
Plus, we got to remember something, American 101. What is it that America do the best when it comes to slavery, reparations, Jim Crow, redlining? What's the one thing, and I know I'm not going to wait for anybody to answer because I got to get to a point. The one thing that America always say, it happened a long time ago. It happened a long time ago. It happened a long time ago. Why are you still bringing that up? It happened a long time ago. So even if we was to sit here and tell you Trump did the same thing in his first time, it happened a long time ago. So why would you think it's going to happen this time? That happened 4 years ago. We had a whole different president and everything between the second and third. It happened a long time ago. It happened a long time ago. It's apparent at this point when it comes to anything that America hates to look at that's in a negative light. The first thing they do is push it back and push it back and push it back and push it back. They just run the clock until they can use it happened a long time ago.
Well, the funny thing about even that family is they only can do that because what I was saying before, that we are willfully blind. Like, we have access to more information than we've ever had before. Even though we've backslidden quite a bit when it comes to education and the K-12 area, we're still fairly well educated as a nation. So we are choosing not to know any better. Like, talk to people, right? Just talk to young people or talk to adults, talk to people our age. People actually find comfort and like they're proud of not knowing.
Yeah.
Right? Because knowing comes at a cost. The problem with knowledge and information is you have to do something with it. When someone gives you information, you have to accept it, reject it, or process it. Those are your choices. So if I can avoid the topics that are uncomfortable to me, I can avoid that information. So you get people who will say, hey, like on the left, we kept saying, these tariffs are going to tear up everything. They're going to crash the economy. Look what they're going to do to the stock market. Oh, the sky is falling. Okay. All of that would be true in a straight line universe. But here's what happens. He puts in a tariff. Scares the mess out of people who have money. So the stock market is the people who got money. And then they react to that. He eases off of the tariffs. Those same people react to that. So the stock market has basically evened itself back out. He threatens to put these high tariffs out. He actually puts high tariffs out. But the markets react. The bond market reacts. He's seeing that he's having trouble negotiating with these other countries. So he lets almost all of them go. So you never have the crash. The prices didn't spike. Everything's still relatively the same. It's still unaffordable, right? Your life didn't get measurably worse, and it didn't get any better. Well, you already don't think politicians are going to make your life better. So that didn't matter to you. And then it didn't get really worse. So all this stuff you're saying about Trump, is it even true? This is the messaging that ends up happening. So at the end of the day, because the opposition doesn't have a proposition, it all washes out. And he just comes out as a guy who he tried, but the deep state got in his way. That's how it comes across. Farmers losing their land and going into bankruptcy like they did last time, but he's going to pass a bailout for them. They already getting getting help. They're already getting programs that Congress is sliding in the back door and stuff. So they're still more or less, like there are a lot of people who fell through the cracks and got hurt, as always, but the economy and everything continues to move in its same wonky kind of way. So he comes out really looking good. And then we say, okay, well, look at what's happening with immigration. The people who care about what happens to people who are literally here illegally already cared. You ain't swelling the ranks. We already care. That's why we voted the way we voted. So the people who want the cruelty, they're just getting what they wanted. it's sad. It's really, that's why I say I feel sad. It's sad because everything is balancing itself out so that he really comes across looking like your typical president. He's just louder. He isn't really coming across that much worse than any other president in recent history. He does not come across any worse than George W. Because at least he hasn't invaded another country that we care about, because we don't care about going to war so long as our boots aren't on the ground. And this is where we are, man. And then, like I said, we don't have an opposition with a proposition. So the Democrats, you know, because that's the only real opposition party, they have yet to put out a Project 2028. Why don't you have a Project 2028? Why aren't you even talking about having a Project 2028? You ain't even talking about it. So it comes across as Democrats are weak, Republicans are strong, Democrats are right, Republicans are wrong. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have somebody who's wrong and strong than someone who's right and weak.
Well, I did give a report that they said they was going to work on a Project 2028, the Democratic Party. I'm just going to stop at they said they was going to.
Right, you going to work.
but it literally was said they were working on a Project 2028. I'm like, okay. Remember a long time ago, like what they used to do. Remember a long time ago when Trump said he's working on the budget and he brought out that book that had blank pages in it. So I believe it when I see it. Okay. I believe you when I see it. Just gonna end it there. I believe it when I see it. Cause y'all some real good talkers. Y'all some masterful talkers. Y'all got the energy and all of that stuff. But
the Democrats,
Democratic Party, y'all have the hallelujah choir behind you and everything. And got you questions on when you do the cross-examining. Y'all really good at it. And okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're about to pop some comments up, but like Tracy has one in there and Parker has one in there.
Well, let me go ahead and put them on up here. Then, I hope people don't fall into the trap of thinking the midterms are going to wave a magic wand.
Yeah, because like with that one right there, I agree with you, Tracy. But here's where you're not going to like what I'm about to say. We're all part of the problem. All of us. So I really enjoyed Tracy's panel that she just had on. Like, these sisters are very intelligent and they know their stuff. Mm-hmm. They still, nobody offered any solutions or plans. Same thing I've been complaining about forever. The Democrats, they're known to be intelligent, but they don't have no solutions or plans either.
Nope.
So we're about to walk into the midterms exactly as disjointed as we were in the last midterm and in the last election, because we're all fighting for space over our pet interests. We're not fighting for America. And that sounds really strange coming from me, I know, but America is our house and it's on fire and we're all in it. So it behooves us to, yes, you have the things you're passionate about. You're passionate about the living room, and I'm passionate about the dining room, and you're passionate about the man cave downstairs. But it's all in the house. So we need to be able to take all that stuff and be like, you know what? We still gonna fight about this. This stuff, we still got to get this stuff straightened out. But we're Americans first. Mm-hmm. How do we save this house? And then, having saved the house, we need to now refurbish the house. What has shown me is this Constitution is not up to the challenges of today. And that's mainly because the darn thing hasn't been updated in 60 years. So we need to go in and we need to right? We need a caliber of representation that is qualified at the state and federal level to give us new amendments relative to what the country looks like now, right? And where the country wants to go next. But we can't do that because, like Tracy's pointing out there, people are still fighting over their own pet interests, and we're going to keep doing it. And we're going to say why Gavin Newsom is bad. We're going to say why Pete Buttigieg is bad. And we're going to say why AOC is bad. And we're going to say, right, we're going to attack everybody who dares step up. We are going to cannibalize them. We're going to show why we don't like them and why they're not good enough and why my guy is better, who, you know, random guy from New Jersey or wherever. And we're going to wander into the midterms. We're going to end up with a 1 or 2 seat advancement in the House. So Hakeem Jeffries becomes Speaker. What? Right? Do you really expect something good out of that guy? Right? So it's like, midterms are going to happen just by the numbers. If people just show up at a reasonable clip, Democrats will take the House. But given where this country is right now, Democrats should take the House and the Senate. But it's because the Democrats are so terrible, we can't even be sure of that. And the third party people still ain't gonna vote for a Democrat. House on fire, smoke all in the rooms. Still ain't gonna vote for them. So nothing changes. And when nothing changes, that means things stay the same. And what stays the same is this guy finishes out his term. He continues to have at least one chamber of Congress, possibly both. He's already basically neutered the judiciary. He's willing to overstep his bounds in every other capacity. And so now he just seems really strong. And it's time to retire him because he's having issues, but he's so strong. So who should we have next, sir? And then he will anoint who we have next. Because what runs for president is going to be like Hakeem or somebody like that. And everybody's going to be like, nah.
I hope they give a better name than Project 2028, though.
I got a name for it. It's the name I use for my 3R project. Rebuild, restore, replace. It's time to invest in America. That's it. Like literally. Clean it up a little bit with your people with master's degrees and PhDs. But that's basically it. The people in the MAGA people, they want somebody who can show them how they can have a better life and not become outmoded. Poor people want to be able to know that they're not going to die in the streets. Homeless people want to know that they're not going to die in the streets. Everybody who's homeless don't want to be in a home, but they also don't want to die in the streets. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I've monopolized way too much time.
And then last one, would it not be Project 2029?
The public ain't smart enough for that, man.
Yeah. Just leave it away. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, 2 things. One, I got jealous of Thea's background, so I changed my background because I got sick of it. So now we got backgrounds. So let's go ahead and get into the second. What? I don't know what. Does that look?
I saw that too, Anna, but I understand.
Backgrounds. I don't have background. I have.
Because your background is already beautiful, so you don't need to change anything. I got a blue wall, so yeah, you got pictures and. Yeah.
I did put star. I don't know if you
Stars
can see
up
from
and
here.
everything.
Yeah,
we can see the stars hanging, and
yeah. So you didn't need a background. Me, I got this big that need to be washed eventually. I ain't got the balloons anymore.
I missed the balloons. I like them.
They went down by themselves naturally. Let's go ahead and get into the second hour with a very special, like I said at the beginning of the show, Am I the A-Hole? A Mafia video of the week, and of course, Foxy's video of the week. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the other side, stay tuned. Everybody on the ot I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I had to burn you. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free.
We are back, and I'll be back in a few minutes. No issues. You just had to take care of something. So let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy in all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliAndCetera.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's website, OurUnitedCore.com, Community Build Movements. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. And let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour.
Hey, big bro, do me
Yo.
a favor. Going forward, don't plug OUC, plug Complex Mind. I'm really not doing a lot of OUC in the digital space right now. Doing stuff in the streets, I guess.
Text that to me because I have to go into the system to change that to
Okay.
Remind
Remind
me.
me. I got you. Yeah.
Because why I got so good at it, I'm literally reading it because I have read it for so long. So when I click on it,
keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, no. I can change it
because I need to step it up anyway. It's just that's just not where the energy is at the moment. Because I'm just as my little moment out there for everybody. Our United Core is my passion project. It's where my heart is and everything. But
I want to do
I'm self-funded, so there's a lot of things that I had big, ambitious things, and I've had to dial them back just because it's the environment we're in right now. So
yeah, I did erase it. Just text me. so I can put it on there. Because I'm telling you right now, I done got good to the point of just reading it and reading it and reading it. So if I change it, it's still not going to be a problem because I'm reading it. You've been doing Our United Core for a while now, and I'm still using ourunitedcore.com/. And I have to literally read Communities Built Movement because I don't completely forgot what the damn theme of it. Trust me, just
you're good, bro. You're good. I'm having to work on a lot of things. So,
all right, everybody. Like I said, a very special Am I the A-hole? Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Proposal.
I'm a 27-year-old woman, and my best friend has been dating her boyfriend, who's 26, for over 5 years. A while back, he reached out to me to help figure out her ring size and to help set up so that he can make this the most magical day for her. Having known my friend for over 20 years, I know exactly how she wants her proposal to go and who she wants to be there. So I relayed all this information to her boyfriend months ago via text and over the phone. I even took the time to covertly find out which ring she would love the most. So a little background, my friend is incredibly family and friend oriented, and in the past has expressed to me on multiple occasions that in the 5 years they've been together, he hasn't really made much of an effort to indoctrinate himself into her family or friendships the way that she has for him. While I do generally like him, I've always felt that he's incredibly self-serving and self-focused. Recently, through a mutual friend, I found out that he started a group text between his, emphasis on his, friends and his family to set up a time and date of the proposal. He has not only excluded myself, but he's also completely excluded her family and other close friends from the event. Despite the fact that, according to the screenshots I've seen, he's doing everything verbatim that I suggested he do. He's planning on only having his boys and family present for the occasion. And knowing my friend, this would ultimately break her heart not being able to share this moment with her loved ones. I got heated and called him. At first, he was dodging my questions. Then he just outright said, "This is my proposal, and I've spent enough time and money to choose how I do it. Just be happy for your friend. It's not like you're not coming to the wedding." This infuriated me, and to make matters worse, I ran into her mom and dad at the grocery store and subtly asked if they knew of any possibility that she was getting engaged. They were unaware, and I know for a fact that my friend has told him that he needs to ask her parents for their blessing. She's somewhat traditional. My friend wears her heart on her sleeve, and I can predict how this event will go down when she sees all of his close friends and family and none of hers. Considering her previous sentiments about his lack of interest in her family and life, she will 100% see this as being hurtful and selfish, and I know that she'll cry. To make matters worse, the location of the proposal is a whopping 30 minutes from her parents' home. I don't want to get involved in a fight or reveal the surprise, but on the other hand, I feel that I owe it to my lifelong friend to help her avoid being hurt and disappointed. Maybe even helping her rethink what her future would look like with someone who just doesn't really appreciate what she values in life. So, am I the bad guy if I tell my friend that her boyfriend is going to propose?
Real quick, because I don't have a lot on this. The friend is a problem. Because you're trying to think your way through for your friend something that she's chosen for herself. So let the cards play out and be there to help your friend. If what you suspect to be true is the case, be there for your friend. But don't get in the middle of this. It's a no-win. Stop it. But anyway, that's my take on it.
Right, Anna?
Yeah, I understand you want to be there to help your friend. I think the only way you're going to accomplish that, be there afterwards. Is I It's like, I know the instinct. I know that there are some people that would think that they are doing the best thing. But when it comes to it, relationships are between usually two people, and if it's not yours, you gotta stay out.
It's one of those things where I grew up in the hood. And I always say that I'm not saying it's a black thing, anything. I can only speak for my experience.
Mhm.
When your friend comes to you and complains about their relationship and everything like that, we learned a long time ago to just nod your head. When they break up and they're not together no more, they come and complain and whine and moan and groan and everything else. Your thing is to nod your head. Why? Because you don't know if they're gonna get back together, and they're gonna remember everything that you said about that person. It ain't gonna work out best for you. You just, like the two of them said, which is absolutely correct. I know what your instinct is, and your instinct is to protect your friend. Well, you can in this situation. You can, however, be there for your friend if it falls apart. If it don't, what? Cool. If it does, I'm there for you, sis. But anyway,
Is there
yeah,
more?
I mean, she tried to tell the boyfriend about how she would want her own family to be there as well, and he basically blew her off. At that point, there's not much else you could do, right? I don't even know what the conversation with your friend would be. Hey, your fiance is gonna propose to you, but he ain't bringing nobody that you know. I don't even know what the conversation you can have with your friend about it. So just stay out of it. But anyway, like I said, this is a special Am I the A-hole because guess what happened?
Oh, we have an update. 9 days later, OP posted an update. To everyone who told me to keep my mouth shut, thank you. So on Saturday, the day of the proposal, I got a call from her boyfriend. He was screaming at me, blaming me for not showing up, even though I was uninvited to the proposal with her parents because she was upset they weren't there. Wait, what? Blaming me for not showing up to the proposal with her parents because she was upset they weren't there. Buddy, you didn't invite them. What did you expect? I was effing slack-jawed. I told him I knew this would happen, and he says verbatim, "You just admitted you knew this would happen, so if you knew the whole time and you actually cared about her, then you would have invited them." Yo, what? I was gobsmacked and hung up on him. Not even an hour later, I got a call from her asking me to come to her parents. According to her, this is how the situation played out. He popped the question, she said yes, and the people he invited popped out of hiding. She was bombarded by 4 of his guy friends, his mom, dad, older brother, and his sister-in-law. His parents were holding a sign that read, "Welcome to the family, Mrs. His last name." And this is where things go downhill. I didn't know this before, but my friend doesn't want to change her last name, and she's told him that repeatedly since they got together. Oh my god! The tea! She's an only child from a Ukrainian family, and with everything going on with Ukraine in the last year, she's doubled down. When she saw the sign, she joked, "Mrs. Your last name? I think you mean Mrs. My last name." Everyone went silent until his mom said, "Well, the ring is already engraved. No changing it now." She takes off the ring and sees Mrs. His last name engraved on the band. Then she asked if her parents were coming, and he gave every excuse. He didn't have their number, there were too many people there, he wanted to keep it private, and eventually he said, "This was my proposal to you, and now my family is your family. We can just send your parents the pictures later." Oh, jeez. She took off the ring and left. That's when I'm assuming I got the call from him. She went straight to her parents. She asked them about the engagement, and they were clueless. She then asked me if I knew anything. I asked her if she was in a safe place, and she said that she was, so I told her that I would answer any questions she had, rather than just info dumping on her. She was upset, but thanked me. She was furious when I told her about the call from him earlier and said, "Does he really think that I'm that shallow?" She said that it was never about having a perfect proposal or her parents there. It was about him making the whole thing about himself as always, and she was done feeling ignored and belittled, so this was her breaking point. She's currently staying with her parents, and she's been receiving texts from him. The worst one so far is him telling her that she has to pay him back for the ring and for ruining his life. Right now, all I can do is be here for her, and whatever decision she makes, I will fully support, because as you've all helped me realize, this isn't about me, it's about her. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Let me just go ahead and say this real quick. This is going to be really quick. You can't negotiate with somebody who has a main character syndrome. It's damn near impossible to do it. They take no responsibilities. It's everybody else's fault. And I wouldn't even been slack-jawed about it. As a matter of fact, I would have expected it. So you knew this was going to happen. Yeah, I do. I didn't know it was going to happen. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Yeah. I warned you it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then you should have brought the parents. No, that's not my job. I'm not a maid of honor. Y'all ain't even married. Y'all wasn't even you're not even proposed fiance yet. There was no plan, so that's not my job. But that's not the point. The point is he will never take responsibility for anything that he does wrong. You can't negotiate with people like this.
The only way he not take responsibility, he'll blame you.
Well, that's taking a responsibility because it has to be somebody else's fault. It just has to be. It couldn't be his fault. That's impossible. Number two, and I don't even want to get so deep into this topic, okay? I really, really, really don't. Because I already know that you can have friends in your life that is as close as your family members. I already know this. But bruh, you brought your family members and you brought your friends and you thought this, sweetheart, is all you need. You don't need your parents here. You don't need your best friend here. You don't need anybody from your side, wink, wink, to come see me propose to you. But my family and friends is here to see how I treat you. Aren't you lucky? Three and final thing that I want to say to the mom of this boyfriend, shut the fuck up. The ring has already been engraved, so it's a little too late. The hell it ain't. It's not too late at all. I didn't agree to this. We didn't put no plans together. We didn't put no money down. We didn't say I do. We ain't going no honeymoon. We ain't commemorate the marriage. You got a long way before you can say, it's too late now. Tee-hee. I already engraved the ring. So obviously I know where you got it from, bruh. I already see where you got it from. You won't take responsibility. You grabbed onto the first person, and it is a subconscious thing for you. I know you're not listening, and I know even if you were, you wouldn't give a fuck. It's a subconscious to you about when I say you don't take responsibility, because who was the first person you called when this shit blew up? You called the person who warned you not to do it. That's the first person you called to lay blame on. The first person.
The person who planned all this for you. The person who's been doing all the work.
The person that tried to help you. And obviously, and this is mind-boggling, The person who knew the girlfriend better than you. 5 years in a relationship. Bruh, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna get married because somebody's gonna fall for this. It always happens, and I feel so sorry for her.
So one thing I toss at you, bro, and not to make it, this isn't to make an excuse, but I have limited exposure to a couple of different Eastern European people over my adult life. It's a different culture, man. So the mom is probably coming from a very traditional background. He was probably raised in that same mode, and he's marrying a woman who is much more Americanized, if that's a way to kind of put it, to where she wants to keep her own last name and things like that. So if what I'm saying pertains to them, this is how you end up here. The guys are not taught, groomed, or raised to truly consider the woman in a holistic way. The woman isn't known, unless she has like a profession, most likely, not known to even ask to keep their own name. So it's like these things, when cultures clash, you can have this situation. And then you got this guy who's obviously very selfish, you know? But she knew this dude was like this.
I did not want to do that. I really
I'm not blaming. Well, I am blaming her in a way, but I'm just more like holding her accountable for her piece of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's what we were talking about earlier about on a political sense, but this is in a social sense. You know, love can blind you, and you shift what weighs more to you or what means more to you for those kinds of reasons. And this is how you end up here. Unfortunately, that was like a straw for her, but we ultimately don't know. They could have got right back together after that, because he does his crying and his begging, and she really wants to be married, and there you go. That's why I was saying, well, I didn't say it, but this is what I was thinking. This is when the friendship thing flips. So when the engagement hadn't happened yet, keep your mouth shut. Your friend, without your input, took a brave stance, a stance you agree with. Now it's your time to speak, right? You don't have to dog him because you don't know if they get back together, but this is your time to speak. This is when you encourage her about all the things that's so great about herself and commend her for having the strength to make these decisions, right? You big up your friend so that she has the strength that she'll need when the emotional guilt tripping and all that other stuff really starts to kick in. So it's like, first part, be quiet. Second part, speak up.
My turn?
Push you down.
I just want to say, well done to the friend. You stayed quiet. And also, you didn't just verbally vomit all over your friend when she was already feeling really bad. Like, you made some really good decisions in the heat of the moment, and well done.
Well, while we're here, please do not forget to support Thea's at Complex Mind Superman on YouTube. When I tell you I got your back, I got your back.
Well, thanks,
Mafia video of the week. This is a really short video, but Ooh, this escalated.
Posted to Facebook. My mother is looking for a lady to clean her home. This is a one-time only event. Consider it a very big job because there's lots to be done. First, I just want a general idea of price estimates. I will not contact anyone immediately. I'm going to watch this post and see all the options before contacting anyone. Use real profiles. I'll be checking them. If your profile is private and I can't see your life and that you're real, that's a red flag. I'll assume you have something to hide. Maybe drugs, maybe theft, maybe a scammer. I have security cameras. I do not play games. Make a mistake with me and you're going to jail. By the way, this guy's willing to pay $8 an hour.
No. You go straight to hell.
I bet I know how he votes.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Sorry,
I'm talking to every woman, cause wait again. He specifically asked for a woman. He ain't asked for a cleaner. I'm looking for a cleaner. No, he specifically asked for a woman. Man, don't walk into that damn house. You know why he said there was gonna be a one-time cleaning? Because that's gonna be the last time they see you. Don't walk into that damn house. No. This ain't finna end well at all. You a little aggressive for spick and span, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what your issue is, but damn.
Yeah, Mama's just going to live in a nasty house. She need to stay in there with her filth and your filthy attitude.
How about just hire a regular cleaner rather than soliciting this on social media?
There are lots.
He's probably tried and he's been barred.
Oh, wow.
I never thought of that.
I wondered if he was going to try to, in the span of, I guess, cleaning his house, he was probably going to romance the woman and he would never have to buy her again.
I don't know that he's capable of romance.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There were a whole bunch of icky feelings I got during that.
Let me put it to you this way. It may start off as romance. And then do you really need to go out with your friends? Do you really need to talk to your mom every day? You really even need to talk to your family every week, every month, every year.
People like that, though, they are much smoother than this guy.
No, this dude sucks.
Yeah, this guy's right out of front.
This is a nice guy right here. This is a guy who thinks everything that he said is not wrong.
Yeah, he's one of those people. He's one of those people who yells at the waiter. He's the guy who bullies random people on the sidewalk. He's that guy.
He's the guy who would go to a park and tell the kids to settle down. You're too loud. He's that type of person. He I'm sorry. 5 these videos of the week. Well, if anybody who's new to the show is watching, because I don't know why, well, I do know why, because we're good, but we have had a randomly large amount of people dipping in and out and watching our show. So I appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you very much. If you're new to the show, this is our It's last. It's the 4 letters, Marlon. Damn. This is the last segment of the show. I appreciate StreamYard not crashing me the whole show so far. Thank you very much. I haven't had to go off unless I had something to do. So thank you very much. But this is the last segment of the show. I appreciate y'all coming through. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that like button. I truly appreciate it. Emma?
Can you easily check how many subscribers we have? 'Cause I just wondered.
Oh, it
758.
Yep. It did go up. Yep.
Wow. Hi, everybody.
758. We itching closer to being able to pay Anna and Theus at least 50 cents a show or whatever they give me. It'll probably cost more to cash it than it would to actually send the money. Thank you for the 50 cents, Marlon. Too bad it cost 35 cents to cash it, but thank you for the 50 cents. At least you're thinking about me.
15-cent profit, homie.
Wonder who would be our first super chat?
Parker.
Or Susan.
Oh, true.
Ooh,
True.
No, I know. Wait a minute. I think I know exactly who will be it. Mama Hart.
Yeah.
You might not be wrong on that.
Anyway, I showed this video last night, Anna, and I'm going to show it to you. And
Okay.
I'm going to literally roll into this video, and then I'm going to roll into the next video so we can discuss it, because surprisingly enough, the two actually combined amazingly enough.
Okay.
Leopard ate my face.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud. All of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
Did you ever think that your job would be impacted in a Trump administration?
No, absolutely not.
Never thought the lepers would eat my face. No, I never thought the lepers would eat my face. We bonded over bigotry, but they weren't supposed to turn on me. No, I never thought the lepers would eat my face. Slow it down now. I never thought the lepers would eat my face. No, I never thought it would happen to me. Bonded over bigotry, but they weren't supposed to turn on me. No, I never thought the leopards would eat my
So like I said, let me go ahead and roll into the next video because it just so magically connects with each other.
White people, watch this video and I'll be right back.
He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America. When Teddy Roosevelt, 1912, proposed a national health care system, people said no because black people will get it. When Franklin Roosevelt proposed a national health care system, it was the same thing. We don't want black people to get it. When Truman tried it in 1947, same thing. Don't want black people to get it. We have to figure out a way to keep black people from using Medicare. And the way that they came up with was to have a 20% hole, a gap in Medicare, so that you had to pay 20% of your doctor's bill and your hospital bill, and that would discourage poor black people from showing up at the hospitals. Nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right is because of racism. He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro.
How many times do I have to say this? Racism is a detriment to you white folks, poor white folks especially. Because of racism, you poor white folks can't even get good health care. Because they thought if they could deny health care to black people that we would have been eradicated a long time ago. But hey, we still here. And they have not changed the rules. How crazy is that? Even with Social Security, you have to pay 20% because of racism. We keep telling you, BIPOC keep telling you, black people keep telling you, it is not us that makes your life suck. It is those racist politicians and their racist legislation that they think that's going to harm us, but harms you at the same time. And they don't care if it harms you. They don't give a shit. And then you continue to vote against your own interests. All because a bunch of rich white people told y'all to hate black people because black people are doing stuff to you as a whole. And we're not, because we don't control shit. We don't control the healthcare system. We don't control Social Security. We don't control your wages. We don't control shit. But they continue to tell you that it's us. So you turn your focus on us and harass the shit out of us for no fucking reason. When we have no power to affect your life as a whole community. Pay attention.
Well said.
You could take any situation that will benefit the black community, even if it's a byproduct, which is a word I use a lot. You can take any situation that's a byproduct that will help the black community, and white Europeans will have a damn issue with it. Don't believe me? Obamacare. And them motherfuckers were up in arms. Do you think I forgot when McConnell and some of his little cronies was at the front of the Senate door and told you Obama's first terms, we will go out of our way to vote down any damn thing you want to do. Anything. We don't give a damn if it'll better this country. We are determined. It is our priority to vote down anything Obama wants to do. But racism doesn't exist. Okay. You're not racist. Okay. This country wasn't built on racism. Okay. You want to believe that? Like Thea says, I'm not the Negro whisperer. I'm done what I can do. You want to vote against your own best interest. Okay. And you be the same person that comes back and go, do anybody thinks about Nebraska? No. No, I don't. And I'm not mad. I'm not raising my voice. There's no fire in my eyes. I done that already. I mean, You want to keep voting against your own agenda simply because you dislike the black community, the queer community, the LGBTQ community, the Asian community, the Hispanic community. You are willing to vote against your best interest just to hurt other group? Okay. Stop coming back talking about the woe is me agenda. Hey, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Because if you're coming to me and thinking I'm going to make you feel better about this, I need to go cut the grass. I need to go trim it. I need to go do anything other than listen to you. Like my cousin said, if I don't do nothing but go outside and jump up and down in the rain, I would have to do anything other than listen to you. Because this is not, and I want to make this absolutely perfectly clear. Holy fuck, we went back to Roosevelt. So no, this is not a new thing. This is not something that just popped up from out of the blue. Decades. I don't even know how many presidents that is. Parker, how many presidents have we had since Roosevelt?
So I do know Roosevelt didn't like black folks either, right?
Oh, no. Okay. We still tried. I don't give a damn. You ain't got to like me. Look, bruh.
I just like to point that out because I hear people, everybody wants to reach back and pull and dust old Rosie off. Mm-hmm. And, you know, look, he's literally no better and no worse towards the people that you're concerned about than many of the other people that you dislike.
It's the equivalent of me saying Lyndon B. Johnson. I don't give a damn what anybody say. Lyndon hated our fucking guts. Lyndon also was the one who gave us the most civil rights. Civil rights. I don't know why I was thinking there was a second word after that. Civil rights in this country. You ain't got to like us. I already know I live in a country where, again, we get the byproduct of everything that happens to this country. It ain't nothing that's for the black community. Like, nothing. Name them. What's recently?
I said not recently, but 13th Amendment, that was us. 14th Amendment, that was us. Yeah. Voting Rights Act, that was us. You know.
Well, that was the Civil Rights Act was for us.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm being snide because I'm 100% with what you're saying. Only thing I would just kind of say is why. After I asked the question and I was being, tongue in cheek or whatever. But
First of all, Afro's in the damn house. What's up, Afro?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? You talking about folks that listen to him? Fuck off.
I'm being I'm being a bit of an ass, but it's the truth, bro. Like, how many times? This is like the lady who just did the video. Like, I'm gonna peel back a couple layers with the video that you just showed, right? Like, the video is a white guy's video where he doesn't even speak, but he's going viral off of what a black woman is saying. And then within that, she's talking to people who don't care what she has to say anyway. So it's like, and then you're talking to the same people that she was talking to. Like, it's,
I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it. Maybe I'm doing it out of spitefulness. Like, I don't want to see your damn videos anymore about your little fake ass tears. Sorry. I know you're not going to listen to me. I get it. And I'm not even centralizing whiteness. You are about as far from my mind as I possibly can. I'm just sick of listening to you.
I think I'm pretty well along the curve of uncentering whiteness, and whiteness still is on my mind quite often, because that's the rules of the road here in this country, right? You don't get to just pretend it ain't there anymore. It's just a matter of we as a community need to spend. No, that was me.
What is she saying? I can't read it.
She thought that complex mind
was a troll, and that's who Theus was talking to. Oh, that's who she thought I was talking to, not knowing that was Theus, but that's Theus.
Yeah. But it's like, for real, and this is why I'm just talking to, I'm not even just talking to Black folks, I'm talking to Black folks, I'm talking to our friends, I'm talking to people who are sympathetic, not necessarily to Black folks, but to people. We are already in agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's knowledge we can drop as far as, like, you know, sometimes we share history and we share perspectives, but trying to convert anyone or trying to help someone change their mind, for what? For what? At this stage, if they don't like you, they have their own reasons for not liking you. And one thing I would also say, and this is just, now this one's 100% just me and my little insular way of looking. I really wish the phrase or the turn of phrasing that says that they're voting against their own best interests, I wish that would go away, because it's very patronizing. You're basically taking away their agency, right? Oh, they just, you know, guys, just stop voting against your own interests. Can't you see that what you're doing is hurting you? You think they don't know what they're voting for? They do know what they're voting for. But the issue is what they prioritize is different than what you prioritize. They also want a healthy America. They also want the debt under control. They also want a robust economy. They also want a national defense that keeps you from being invaded. They also want good educational outcomes. They want all those same things. But what they prioritize a little bit higher is a sense of being special, the sense of being the identity of the nation, a sense of a privilege that they don't have to call privilege. It's just a natural order of things, right? They just have a different set of things before they start to line up with the rest of us. So they're not really voting against their own best interest. In a way, many of them are literally voting for their best interests because they're voting for their own selfish interests. So how is that not them voting in their best interest? Right? So it's like, it's all about perception. So that's why I wish like that particular kind of phraseology will go away, because to me, it's almost like you're babying this group. We keep treating these people who are racially motivated, who are MAGA enthusiasts or whatever, we keep treating them like they're being misled or they're being fooled. And they have every bit as much agency as any of the rest of us. And you can't say that they're not smart because they're winning. And you don't keep winning like this if you don't have some really smart people on your team. So it's like, respect what you're up against. Respect that these people have fully thought out positions. Can they always articulate it to us? No, because what they do is the same thing they used to do with us with the man on the street stuff. They go find the least articulate person they can find and shove a microphone in front of them, and then let them be the face of whatever it is. That's not right. That's not who you're fighting against. You're not fighting against Bubba at the convenience store who just broke up dating his cousin. That's not who you fighting.
God dang.
Bubba can't do nothing to you. Bubba is also being crushed by the same system that's crushing you, but he needs somebody to blame, and you're convenient to blame. Who you up against are these jokers who actually write laws, do the lobbying, got their stockbroker meetings. that's who you're up, and you've always been up against them. Hey, at least I said it was his cousin. I ain't like say it was his sister.
I mean, well, you know what? It's better than Anna and gonna marry a sister. So,
Dude, they same dad.
no.
Yes.
Dad figure.
After a trip.
Pretty sure we are talking about Bubba dated his own cousin, so he's saying he's up.
Yeah, he coming up.
You got them good looking cousins, sure.
Oh, Marlon.
Again, last night, Evan talking about you gonna bury your sister. There is nothing I can say that's worse. Nothing. Y'all gonna stop this. I don't care about your look, Anna. I knew you were gonna do that. You knew. Anna flat out said the man is gonna bury his sister.
Marry
Okay.
the woman of his dreams, and he felt like she was just his sister for a while.
Hey, in a way, these people who date their siblings, they're literally dating someone that's a perfect match, at least for organs.
Sure.
Hey, on the bright side with this one right here, if they're close cousins, she's probably going to take his last name.
Which is probably already her last name.
But enough picking on the people who are cousin tuckers.
My dog is like staring at me.
Because he can't believe the shit that's come out of this show.
Sachi's like, he's your friend? What is...
Oh, God. 2 more videos, everybody. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. Anna, I kept this for you from last night because this is your type of thing.
Okay.
This is just, this is crazy. I'm not even going to take anybody down because it's really, really short. That's a dumb question.
You have any kids? Yes, I have one daughter. How about you? How many baby daddies do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Ellipses. I have one daughter. I understand that is she by the same father.
That's why that video showed up in my feed. Dang, man.
I'm going to give you the same expression I got. I don't know how to answer that question. Bro, I'm just blocking you and moving on about my life because
You know, she never did answer if she had any sons.
She had one. Do you have any kids? I have one daughter.
She didn't say I only have one daughter.
No, we're not going to play this word association thing. I said one daughter. No, we're not doing this. No.
Nope. Okay, sorry. Sachi ruled against you as well.
I said your dog is judging, Anna.
Yep.
There was a story early in the show about a dude trying to make his girlfriend pay for the engagement ring after she said no. Yeah, she's laughing. Sorry, I missed it. Please go sit in the corner.
See, it's fifth grade all over again.
Oh my God.
I used to stand in the corner all the time. If I wasn't in the corner, I was in detention. If I was in detention, I was writing sentences and couldn't go to recess. Yeah, I was that kid.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? I ain't standing
I
in
did
the
all
corner.
intentionally, so it didn't feel bad for me.
I haven't did that since preschool.
What?
Stand in the corner.
No, I remember it was like fifth grade.
Like, I
And
would get blamed for things I didn't do.
no, I would get blamed for stuff I definitely did.
Yeah.
I was good through elementary. I don't know what the hell.
Through elementary.
I don't know what the hell happened to me when I got to middle school.
When I turned 12, that was all over.
I lost my damn mind.
Yeah, my thing was, I was a smart kid. So school came super, super easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would entertain myself. And the best entertainment to me was getting on my teacher's nerves. So I would ask questions and I would probe and you know what I'm saying? Like it was, I was that kid. And so I had like one teacher and I remember it only happened like once, I want to say. I don't know, it might have happened more than that. But she told me to go stand in the corner. Did what I did, but then again, I'm not, right? She told me to go stand in the corner. So I got up and I went and stood in the corner. And I held an entire soliloquy standing in the corner. I was just talking, having a good time, laughing to myself. Because I was like, if you're going to sit here and do this, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
But I wish I wasn't like that as a kid because now I have much more appreciation of teachers and what they go through. But yeah, I was that kid. Like, I wasn't going to get suspended, but I definitely, man, I remember in middle school, me and one of my friends for like at least 2 of the 3 years in middle school, we had it where we would compete with each other so that because we had the last class together, we would compete with each other, see how many detentions we got in a day.
Oh, yo.
Now I can tell you this though. In school suspension, I had my own fucking desk. I never got suspended. Out of school suspended. I've never been expelled, obviously, because I don't even want to know what my mom would have did to me then. But in school suspension, I could hide that shit. You can worry about that. I had a great day at school.
Out of school suspension, I did get out of school suspension once.
Really?
I want to say it was like first grade because it was before I went to Germany. So it was probably first grade. I hit my then.
Hell, you get kicked out of a school in first grade.
I hit a kid in the head with a big ass rock. That's why I got sent home.
Hey, that would do it.
But it wasn't like I was doing it maliciously. We were just two really dumb boys. And I still remember this was for y'all who are not Gen X. There was this Berenstain Bears. It was a big deal for us Gen Xers, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was a Berenstain Bears Christmas. It was, I still can see it's like a blue book with white snow and the Berenstain.
Oh.
And it had a cover book. And so those books are a little bit bigger. And so the game that we were playing while we were standing in line waiting to go inside the school was we would throw rocks at each other and you're supposed to block it with the book. And he missed. I didn't. So there you go. But yeah, I was like, I wasn't like a bad kid. I was goofy, right? Like, and I've always had anger issues. Like, also same school, so it had to have been around first grade. Kid called me a doo-doo head. I knocked him down. My friend grabbed his leg. I jumped on his leg and broke it. When we were in Germany, I was maybe third grade? Probably around third grade. Kid was getting on my nerves. We outside playing. He dared me to hit him. So I hit him. He had an asthma attack. He was okay. He was okay. But then he said he gonna tell my dad. My dad was at home asleep at the time. I walked him to my house, to my apartment, woke my dad up, and dared this kid to tell on me. And he did. So not the smartest move on my part. And then I went back after I got done, you know, I got my spanking, I got grounded and all that. But once I was free, I went back and I beat him up. Like it was, you know, because he got me in trouble. That was way my
No. You got yourself in trouble.
I agree. Grown up me looking at it, it was like you did this to yourself on multiple levels. One, you ain't had no right putting your hands on this kid. Two, you were dumb enough to take him to your dad. And then three, you gonna go back and beat him up for it? Like, yeah, that was me. Yeah. I got plenty more stories, but I ain't gonna tell them. But
I don't want to hear no more. I didn't even want to hear no more after you broke the kid's leg. So
shouldn't have called me a doo-doo head, apparently.
Apparently so. Do not call things a doo-doo head.
And not first grade things. That's big, man. Those big words back then, man.
Even though next week I'm gonna try to find a way to call things a doo-doo head.
Ain't gonna matter now. I'm grown.
I'm 2 states away. I ain't gonna kill.
I'm grown. I'm at my big old age. I ain't fighting nobody. You know, you ain't gonna make it home. But not you. You fine. You my brother. But I'm saying I'm too old for that. Oh man, keep it easy, man. But that's why when I talk to my kids, I talk to them in different things because they're so much better than me. My gosh, my kids are so much better than me, and I love it. I wasn't thugging. I just had anger issues. My brother was, but me, nah. I looked like Urkel, and I was always a new kid, so it was like I had a chip on my shoulder everywhere I went. So all you had to do was like knock my glasses off. That's an instant. Like, I'm coming for you. And if I can't catch up with you, I'll catch up with you another day. You forget you even did it. I didn't. Right. So, but I grew out of that by the time I was in college.
Last video of the night. Dang, he took all of high school too. Last video of the night. Again, the only issue that I have with this video is the B word used constantly through the video. I think it would have just been better without using that word so many freaking times, but the arrogance.
She said, "Sir, your total is $14.79. I said, "Ma'am, I have a girlfriend." Don't fucking speak to me. I can see the price on the screen, bitch. Are you out your mind? Flirting? Are you kidding me? Flirting. It's actually insane, okay? To test my loyalty in a situation where I'm just trying to make a simple transaction, just trying to be a human in the world, and you have the nerve to use a pickup line. Your total is $14.79, sir. Bitch. I went up to a stop sign one time. I get to the stop sign, and this other car to my right had just gotten to their stop sign. Bitch gonna look over to me and say, I swerved up to her, put that bitch in park, opened my door. I said, "Ma'am, I have a girlfriend." Fucking tell me when and when not to go like you run shit around here. Who the fuck are you? Flirting? Trying to give me the go ahead? Like I'm gonna slide you my number or something because you're being polite, bitch? The tactics they have nowadays, the shit they try to make you falter in your loyalty. Absurd. I fell down the stairs one time. I get clumsy. I'll be real about it. I get clumsy. Okay? I'm sitting there, fucking tibia sticking out of my fucking leg. You know what I'm saying? Screaming like a bitch. With Shotty run up. Oh my God, I'm gonna call 911, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a girlfriend, okay? I'll be doing the calling here, okay? I'm gonna walk over there, get my phone from the second floor landing and call the ambulance. Like flirting. Flirting with me in my time of need. Actively bleeding. You can see the bones sticking out. And you're gonna call the ambulance, bitch? Desperate. Desperate is the word I would use. They're just void of humility nowadays. It's genuinely baffling. I had gone into Tiffany's one time to get some jewelry for my girl, you know what I'm saying? Super special to me, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So I go in with the Draco, you know what I'm saying? Give me all the shit, right? I get the jewelry and shit. I walk out. Cop. You know what I'm saying? Female cop, you know what I'm saying? Whole woman in a uniform, right? She talking about hands up, drop the bag. You know what I'm saying? Get down on the ground. Flirting? I'm just trying to get a present for my bitch. She got the whole glizzy pointed at me like she finna pop off. Unbelievable. Just no decorum nowadays. You just don't fall for it, you know? Keep your ear to the ground, keep your guard up. Don't fall for that shit, man.
See, I was gonna say something about him, but it would involve me using a slur, and that's never appropriate. So I'll just say some of his behaviors is quite suspect anyway. And I just understand. I understand what happened. I really do. I do understand that the word has lost a lot. The word that we're most concerned about that's been used so frequently throughout this video, it's lost a lot of its power. It's lost a lot of its social impact. It hasn't, to me, like, it's not a word that I utter very often. And if I do, I don't even know why I would. I can't think of it. But I definitely wouldn't use it to direct it at a woman. Like, that's not, you know, but that's the era I came up in. You know, now that word is, it's very casual to people now, which is really unfortunate. I don't know. It's just really unfortunate. There's nothing positive to that term, no matter how you try to wrap yourself in circles. You know, be like, well, it's a term of endearment, and women say it to each other. Yes, Parker, he was trying very hard. Yeah. He was trying very hard to be funny, and he was missing the mark. And he thought by using the profanity, it would somehow make it funny. When the bit could have been funny by itself, he just needed to be able to deliver it better. But, all right. Yeah, I don't like that word.
I don't like derogatory words as just a word. Like and if and but. And if anybody don't understand, just like I cannot stand people using the N word as just a regular everyday greeting.
I don't like the word period. But,
well, I don't like the word period, but I definitely don't like it as a greeting. I don't like it as a nicey and everything else. I'm not one. My mama didn't raise one, so please do not call me one. So I'm just politely, if you want it, if you just have to use it, hey, you do you, but don't use it on me. The B word is the exact same thing. If you're naturally used to the word, cool, whatever, and everything else, I can't use that word. I knew growing up in the hood what that word meant, and it wasn't used to greet another woman. When that word was used, it was fight time.
Yeah, even if you're trying to use it in a positive sense, it is a demeaning term. It just is. You know, you're never going to say that. I'll put it this way. If you are using that word as a term of endearment to a woman that you care about, you got a problem. And if she receives it as a positive thing, she got a problem. And I hope that both of you heal. Like,
let me just break that word
good
down.
Names you could be using.
Let me just break that word down in its purest form, just to see if anybody will catch it. Yo, what's up, female dog? Yo, what's up, female dog? How you doing today? Female dog, I'm having a ball today. How are you? Female dog, I'm having a rough day. That's really what the B word means.
Mm-hmm.
So using it as pure as a term, and it sounds kind of like cuckoo. It sounds out there, but that's what the word means. And you, yo, ignorant black person, what's up? Yo, ignorant black person, I ain't seen you in a long time. Yo, have you seen my ignorant black person, Bubba, anytime today? Nah, you know, I ain't seen ignorant black person. Bubba says, I don't know, man. He just got to use the word for what it really means, and it sounds stupid. But that's the definition of that word. So once you put it in its purity, and you still good with it, cool.
Oh, they'll just tell you that the meaning has changed. Because, I mean, the word that we're talking about is all about being a female dog, right? So you have reduced a person to being not even human, right?
Yeah.
But if you say to a person, wait a minute, you just called your woman a female dog. Well, that ain't what I meant. She know that ain't what I meant. Or hold on, why you calling your girl a female dog? Y'all dogs now? Who you calling a dog? Right? So it's like, hey, but social use of these terms allows you to kind of sidestep all of that because it just doesn't mean that to the people using it. It means that to the people observing it. So it's like I like when I'm around people who are using these terms, I don't word police them, right? Like just say what you're saying, but I'll exit the conversation.
Anna, the last word goes to you.
There's not a whole lot. It reminds me of the conversation we had when it hit me just how much Black women did not. Whoa. Sorry, explosion went off. Okay. It's just I didn't know about the B word and the gravity of it in your community, and then Marlon went and learned about the C word in the white community, like very much the same. Please stop. Please. She's got to grumble at me every freaking time. You become an old lady, a groany old lady. You're still groaning. My God.
Thea's, that was so unnecessary. Tracy, he needs to put his safety vest on and gather some votes. Comedy is not his calling.
Hey, all my jokes don't land just like his. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Voting don't land on safety vest, dude. But
I had almost forgotten about safety vests, dude.
His name is Tracy as well.
But yeah, I never understood why the C word was so bad in the white community. I couldn't understand that. Then it was explained to me, and then I'm like, ooh, that's bad.
It's like me. I knew it was a bad word, but it wasn't.
I knew it was bad. I just didn't know why.
It wasn't a word that was in my vocabulary. So like when you would hear people talking about, the see you next Tuesday and all the other things, I was just like, so they done found a new way to insult people, huh? Like it was new to me. I'm like, oh, they done found a new way to insult people, but apparently it's been around for quite some time. And I'm serious. Black folks were like, what? And then someone had to break it down what it was being said, and they were like, oh, because all we would ever hear is the C word. What's the C word? But here's what's funny to me though. It's called the C word. It carries a lot of weight in the white community. Mm-hmm. It's starting to gain traction in the black community, unfortunately. Mm. But is in the edges. But what you don't hear is a lot of people walking around saying, well, why can't I say it? You don't hear black folks walking around saying, but you still hear white folks saying, why can't I say the N-word? Now, both of these things are happening on the fringes, I'm sure. But it's just like, come on. That's something I think I understand, but can't quite grasp. Why is it just being told you can't do something is so hard?
Because you're missing what they're trying to say.
I know what they're trying to say. I'm saying
that's something that they do, and this is one of those things where they don't finish the sentence. Because you heard, why can't I say the N-word? Ain't nobody stopping you from saying the N-word.
They don't want the consequences, right?
No, but they don't want the consequences of what happens if you say the N-word. But that's what's stopping you. But I can't stop you from saying the N-word. However, I can't stop you from dealing with the consequences of you saying the N-word either. But
the part I said that was left unsaid, Marlon, why I said they can't handle being told no, is bigger than even just that word. Because that word, yeah, I'm with you there, right? It's also when we had COVID going on and they were told to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. Privilege is absolutely what it is. It's got to be Afro. Because we were told to wear a mask. And it was just because they were told to do it. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when COVID was first popping off, I said America is not up to the challenge. Because America's, especially white men, cannot handle being told no. Mm-hmm. Can't handle it.
And again, when I was talking about it, when I said, somebody said, well, this is just new. They're just not new. Go back to the Spanish flu and COVID. Please tell me the difference between the attitudes of Americans. There wasn't one. Not a single freaking difference.
They did the exact same thing with polio too.
It has everything to do with how dare you tell me what to do, even though I wasn't doing it anyway. But now that you're telling me that I can't do it, because I love the argument was I can't even walk out of my own house. We never told you couldn't walk out of your own house. You can walk around the block all the hell you want to. I got so sick of listening to the Reddit story, the cabin fever. I'm just so sick of being in the house. Get your ass up and go take a walk. You can go take a walk through the park. We've done it all the time. Nothing's stopping you from walking, you lazy bastard. You just don't feel like changing a damn thing about your scenario to betterment anybody else. And even if you wanted to go to the store, they put these little things up on the floor. I don't know how to follow the arrows. Fucker is pointing the direction you need to go. How the hell do you not know how to follow directions? You've been following directions since elementary school.
Yeah, but it's the toddler response, right? It's whatever you tell me I can't do, that's what I want to do more. And then because like what Afro is saying, I have this privilege, even though the same people will argue you up and down that there's no such thing as privilege, then, you have those responses. And this is another reason, sorry to bring it back around to the situation we're dealing with on a much more macro level in this nation, why I don't think we're going to pull out of the tailspin. We're going to have to crash is because we can't do anything together. Like America is literally incapable of doing a big thing, right? When they needed to do a big thing, they built the Empire State Building so that people would have jobs to build this building. It invigorated construction and all these things, all these big bridges and things that we have that are like Golden Gate Bridge, things like that. These monstrous projects that America was able to do before, in many cases before desegregation. But a lot of the big projects that America was able to do, it's not capable of doing it anymore because we're so obsessed with means testing anyone who could possibly have a benefit. We're so obsessed with justifying how we pay for something that'll help people, but we don't have to worry about how we pay for something that'll hurt people. America is just way too fractured. It's way too disjointed. We need, which was what I was saying earlier, we need a new constitution. All right. But the only way you're going to get a new constitution is this thing that we know has to literally catch fire and burn to the ground. And I don't want that for us, but I don't see a way to avoid it.
Yeah, we had this conversation last night. When I was saying when we was on two ideologies on what we want for America, and I was the one who just said, I don't want XYZ to happen, but I'm not going to care if it happens. You know, and what we was talking about was the plantation house. Theus was talking about, shoot, I saw the plantation house. I'd have went and got a gas can, some more matches, a lighter, a torch, and everything else. And I'm on the the radical Dr. Martin Luther King version of everything of saying, I'm not going to do anything to the plantation house. But as soon as I hear somebody say, grab some buckets and some water and try to put it out, I'm walking away. I'm not a part of the destruction, but I'm not going to stop it.
Yeah, Marlon's on some let nature take its course. And then I'm on some, depending upon what the nature of that thing is, what course of action I'm going to take.
So,
yeah. But yeah.
When it came to the pandemic helped me so much, especially when it came to Facebook, because when it came to Facebook, it taught me how to close my account. Well, not close my account, but private my account, allow people in that I wanted in. So yeah, because it only killed 1% of the American population. So how big of a pandemic could this be? You don't do math, do you? Because you have no idea what 1% of the U.S. population that is. You don't understand the pictures, which I'm still kind of pissed off because I really wish they never showed it. Because it was, what did you call it? Is trauma porn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The pictures of the truck full of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, why did you have to show this to show how devastating?
Because they had to make it real, bro. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough for the people.
That's what I mean.
But they didn't know. But they didn't know this at the time. They did, because America has this thing. First of all, when you're watching things on the news, they're not talking to us. And I really need us to understand that, especially Black folks. When they're on the news talking, they're not talking to us. They're talking about us, they're talking around us, they're talking through us, but they're not talking to us, right? Because mathematically, we're just not the market that moves things. So they have this thing where they believe of this higher level of being that's not borne out by facts. So they figure if I show the American people how dangerous this thing is, the American people will rise to the occasion. And they very quickly found out not so much. In fact, we're going to punish the people who made us uncomfortable. It doesn't matter that they made us uncomfortable to try to save us. The fact is they made us uncomfortable. So they sold us this idea that COVID was going to kill everybody. And so since it didn't, that made everything a lie to a lot of these people. Because the only thing that was true at that point was that they had been inconvenienced. They don't factor in the fact that the vaccines help keep a lot of vulnerable people from dying. It wasn't about saving you, the person who got the shot. It was about making you strong enough to survive if you get sick and reduce the odds of you putting a strong version of this virus back in circulation to hit a softer target. But people don't process that. That is a higher level of thinking that most people don't possess. And so they only can go, well, they choose to only go by what they are experientially encountering. And it's the same thing that's happening with us happening right now with the politics situation, with the immigration situation. If you are not tied to a person who is an immigrant and you're not already wired to be empathetic, it's not real. Hundreds of thousands of people being lost in Ukraine and in Gaza and in Syria, but it's not real because those are just people that you've made up to talk to me. I don't know these people. They're not people. That's how most people are, like, especially if they're missing that empathy piece. And empathy, believe it or not, has to kind of be taught. And if you're not taught, yeah.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and close out this show. Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me either here, weekends, or at BoreliaEtc.com.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You can find me right here hanging out with these wonderful people whenever I don't flake out and disappear, because like Father's Day, I'm going to be missing. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know that now. And you can find me on YouTube at Complex Mind, Simple Man. Just search for Complex Mind, Simple Man. It'll pop as one of your options. And you can find me at OurUnitedCore.com if you're interested in that. But yeah, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Diaz. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
I really ain't got nothing. I hope everybody just has a really good week. There's a lot going on right now. I hope you have a good week.
Mm-hmm.
If you marry your cousin, at least make it a good marriage. You probably have to work harder.